Okay, so this is the solar system that I'm going to set up from hydroponic. This will mainly be used for the water pump. So this is a 100-watt solar panel. This is the charge controller, and this is the inverter to convert the power to alternate current. Then all the power that charge from the solar will store under this lipo battery, which have 10,000 mAh. All the device I will put inside this junction box. I have all the connectors, which is waterproof, and I also will be using this Wi-Fi controller to set a timer for the water pump. These are some aluminum L angles which I will need to do some support for my junction box as well as the solar panel. So this is basically how I'm going to install my junction box. It's whether going to be this side or the opposite. My solar panel I will install above here, which is the highest level of the rack. So first thing, I'm going to do a frame and holder for this solar panel. So basically I'll just use the L angles to wrap across the perimeter of the solar panel. By then I will add in some screw then to hold on to the 1-inch PVC pipe rack. Okay, now I've done the solar panel holder, so it basically hold on top of the rack. So this is basically how it looks. So this is basically the configurations of my junction box. On top will be the solar controller, then below will be the battery. So I leave some space to add in another battery. Below will be inverter as well as the socket. Then for time being, I will add in this Wi-Fi controller to control the water pump. So I have another spare slot for future upgrade. Behind of the junction box, I will add in some wood for me to mount all the equipment. So this is the support for my junction box. I will need to use the aluminum angle for the back support as well as a steel band to mount on top of my rack. I'll need these 2 steel band, then I'll make 4 of these holder to support each junction box. Then I'll make the whole stretch back support as well. Okay, so I've done the fitting. This is roughly how the support going to looks like. So I'll fix it on top, then I'll make the hole for each screw, then I'll bolt it on. Okay. Okay, so this is the basic setup for my junction box. So here will be the incoming from my solar panel. to the controller. Then the controller will output to the battery. Okay, then the load I will run through this conduit to the inverter. Then the inverter will connect to the plug. I'll do the wiring connections for the solar panel. Okay. Okay, this is the initial solar panel that I wanted to install for my hydroponic, but somehow the output is quite small, so I decided to change to a bigger one. This is the 100-watt panel, so I'll need to modify the bracket. This is what it looks like. So now I'm going to mount it, then do the wiring connections and complete the DB box. Okay. Okay, I've done mounting the solar panel due to its weight, so you can see it do sag a bit, but I think there's not much issue. Somehow it's quite shaky, so I may mount some bracket if needed. Okay, now I will start to mount on all the equipment. So I have bought some rubbering to make sure it doesn't have any water leakage to damage the parts inside. I will also install this fan to extract the heat because this inverter is going to generate heat. Okay, to mount the battery, I will be using this steel band and bend it according to the shape of the battery. Then I'll just mount it like that. So in future, if I want to replace the battery, it's also will be easier. There's some changes of my previous arrangement for the junction box. So if I place it like this, I think the space inside will be too cramped. So I will be using the steel band to mount this inverter. Then the power point will be here. Then below here, I will be putting the fan. Now I have mounted all device. I'll install the tubing and I'll make some hole for the ventilation fan. Okay, finally this solar system has been set up. So here will be the DB box for the solar controller. Then I'll put in a main switch here. This is a waterproof switch. Then the bottom one will be the inverter and the power socket. I have been doing few changes which I skipped through the video because it's too time consuming, so I want to shorten out the progress. I'll show you guys how's the internal is. Okay, so this is the solar charge controller, then my battery, then the load. I connected to this waterproof switch, then it's all the way to this inverter. Then I connected to this power point. Maybe in futures I will add in some more device. These are the external power point. The CPU fan to extract the heat that generate from the inverter. Then here will be the water pump to pump all the water up to the top tier. Then it will flow back to the second tier, followed by the bottom tier. Okay, so I have been collaborate all the while, so even though the power has been shut down, then once it turn on again, the water won't be overflow. Okay, I'll be doing a cover to cover up this reservoir. Okay, so this is the cover for the reservoir. I have do an opening, then I'll just install a mesh on it so mosquito won't goes inside and breed. So this is what we have for today. My hydroponic system has been completely set up. Took me about 1.5 months to get all the components ready. If you like my video, please do remember to subscribe. I'll do more of the DIY video to share with you guys. Okay.